I keep wondering, many people, we eat food because we're hungry, right? And we eat food either outside or inside our house, but we don't really understand why we eat food and what is food really. And we have we have not really thought very deeply about this. So my first question to you would be to try and talk a little bit about what is food, and in your view, and why do we eat other than for hunger? Why do we eat?
So it's a very, very surface, or it can be a surface level question, or it can be taken into a deeper level also. Hunger is actually a signal from the body. Yeah. But we eat because we have to thrive. That's the foundation of eating for any living being. And when you look at the philosophical level or at the yoga perspective or Ayurvedic perspective, you have the 5 koshas. You have the Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vidyanamaya, and then Anandamaya. So one has to cross through all of these levels to become to renounce in this world. But the foundation even for that is Annamaya. Yeah, it's food. So the way you see food, the way you eat it, what you eat, how much you eat, all of this together forms the foundation of your health. And that foundation becomes a foundation for your existence and for you to elevate yourself and then renounce. Yeah. So one can choose in whichever form they want to, in whichever form they want to keep their health. If they could eat non-veg or they could be a vegetarian, it could vary from anything. But if they understand that this is the primary reason why I'm eating, I have a purpose for my birth, and for that purpose to get solved, this is the foundation. If one can see it from that lens, then the necessity to reach out to all the unnecessary things that actually is junk and becomes junk in the body will be mostly avoided. So if one can get the deep connection, then most of the problem is solved. That's when one can see, oh, this is chemical, this is not going to help me solve the purpose of my birth or this life, or whatever could be your purpose, but will that really help you? Nobody is going to say, my purpose is to be deceased and then live deceased and die deceased. Each one of us will want to live happy in a certain way, and happiness, the quotient could vary at each stage. Today, something could be giving us happiness, tomorrow something else. But then when that scale rises, health is the foundation. So food, whatever you put inside this mouth is going to become you. So if one can just get in touch with that, I think most of the problem, the foundation level issues will be solved. I don't have to say, don't eat this, don't eat that. You will naturally know. One becomes more intuitive. Once they tune this inside them, they become more intuitive and they'll be able to choose the right things.
Yeah, so I think, it kind of matches with what I also have kind of learned over a period of time about food. And basically, most people think food is, you got to eat, so therefore there is food. But this whole aspect of being mindful of what you eat, and like you said, if it's something that you put inside your mouth and that becomes part of you, I think that's something very profound in some ways, because people don't think about it that way. I think people think about, okay, I need to eat because I'm hungry and therefore I eat. It could be snacks, the wrong time, wrong place, or it could be poorly cooked or poor ingredients, whatever it is. People just want to fill up their tummy and feel satiated, or the hunger has to be killed at some point. So that is the approach. But the fundamental thing that, like you rightly said, has to be understood. I also look at it as, okay, food has to actually be not only to quell your hunger, but also it has to add nutrition to your body. Like you rightly said, it actually is part of the annamaya, the outer layer of your being, and therefore the food that comes in becomes you, and therefore you should effectively say that that what you eat is what you, as they say, you are what you eat. So that is one. The other way I keep thinking about it, and I'd like your thoughts on this, is that I keep telling our consumers, wherever I ask these questions, I keep saying that, treat your body as a temple, or, as a holy place. You leave your slippers outside the temple, you don't go inside with your dirty shoes or whatever footwear, right? So you leave something outside. You go in with an open mind, but a clean mind. And that is exactly how we should be treating our bodies, where whatever we are putting inside has to be clean. It has to be, and you talk about it in terms of eating clean. You talk about that quite a bit. So just talk a little bit about that also.
Okay. So clean eating, as you said, it's just temple. The thoughts, the very thoughts that one takes in when we go to temple, we don't say, something should go bad. We only think about goodness for the world or for ourselves. But it's all about goodness. So likewise, when we consider the whole body as a temple, definitely there will be a sense of gratitude for the way it acts, for the ability to move, for the ability to be, all of this. So gratefulness is one thing. That is one way of having a clean mind and being grateful for everything, because we will not know the greatness of this body unless something doesn't work in the body. Yeah, simple things like just moving a finger. If it doesn't happen, only then you recognize that, it has worked so much that it is not working anymore, or something has to be done about it. Yeah. So being grateful and having a clean mind is the first thing. And even for that to happen in a certain way, if you can keep the food clean, free from physical, chemical, microbiological contamination, most of the things is solved. Yeah? So all of this is going to influence the body at the subtle level for a longer span. And we actually can't see immediate effects on our mental health and overall physical health in a short span. But on a longer span, it affects the health largely. So clean eating is the foundation. Keeping the food physically, chemically, microbiologically free from contamination is the foundation for your health. It's the primary line. Somehow, in the past 20 years, probably after green revolution, we are today in a phase where we have to say that the food has to be chemical free. But that's how it was. And now it has become a new norm. So now organic has become something fancy, and all the other thing has become normal. A chemical food has become normal. So this has to shift.
Exactly. No, we keep saying the same thing. I think organic, people ask whether the world can be fed on organic agriculture or organic farming. And we say that, well, that's how we lived till 1950s and 1960s.
Yes.
So please, the world has developed all the best of its music, art, culture, language, etc. when we were not with chemicals. So let us not, we need not be worried about that.